much for clicking on this video. This has been a long time coming. I also want to thank you guys so much for all of your patience. I've been promising this video for a few weeks now, and I finally found time to sit down and do it. Unfortunately, I had to do it in my bathroom because this is the only place where I can have peace and quiet. So today's video is going to be about locs in the workplace. I am so looking forward to hearing all of your stories and thoughts of your experiences with locs in the workplace. And I figured I might as well just go first and just start off sharing my personal experiences. I've actually had two different types of experiences with locs in the workplace. I'm going to start from when I first got my locs done. I was working at my previous job, and in that particular job, because just to kind of give you guys a little history, I started my locs December 27th of 2017, just so you kind of know a little bit about that. But anyways, so when I first got my locs done, the job that I was working in, it had a lot of people, well, what I would consider a lot of people that worked in that office. I want to say there was anywhere between maybe 35 to 40 employees in that office, or maybe 35. It was like around that range. I can't really like try to sit there and try to count every single person, but it was around 30 to 40 people that worked there in that particular office. So it was a really huge office, and there was a lot of us there. And as far as like dynamics, I would say the majority of the ethnicity were people that look like me. So besides that, there were about I want to say the majority of the people that were there that looked like me, of the same ethnicity, majority of them were natural. I mean, a few of them would wear like weaves or wigs and stuff, but for the most part, they were natural underneath with no perms. And then there were about 4 other women who had locs. One of them had sister locs, and the others were more so traditional locs, but they had locs and had them for years. And those were my go-to girls. Those are the ones who I went to in the beginning when I first started my locs. I remember the year prior to me getting my locs, I approached the one lady who had the sister locs when I was debating about getting sister locs, and I just asked her about her experience with them, and it just so happened she had both sister locs and traditional locs. And long story short, I just felt really comfortable in that environment. So when I started my locs, I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't have any of those experiences for me. The only types of uncertainties that I had were just inwardly feelings that, like, you know, thoughts that I felt towards myself, which mostly had to do with the fact of being loose natural and then going to the tight comb coils. Like loose natural, my hair was big, and I used to wear it up and would blow it out sometimes and wear it really big. And when I started the comb coils, there was a lot of scalp showing, and I felt bald. So that was like my little bit of insecurity. And I also didn't really wear makeup at the time. I still don't wear makeup, but I at least attempt to do my brows and put on a mascara and eyeliner now. But that was just something that I did to kind of make myself feel more feminine when I had the shorter locs. But overall, my experience was pretty pleasant, and I want to say it had to do with the fact that the majority of the people in the office looked like me, had hair like me, and even some of them had the exact style as me. So it made it very easy to transition into locs in that environment. I only had one person that I would say anything negative towards me when I first started my locs. It wasn't any supervisors or anything like that. None of them ever said anything negative towards me. They either said positive or they just didn't say anything at all. But there was one particular person of a different ethnicity, different gender. And this person was known to say stupid stuff occasionally because they thought they were funny. So this particular person approached me, and what did he say? Oh, he came to me and he was like, "Oh my God, Kayla, what did you do to your hair?" And it wasn't a, "Oh my God, what did you do to your hair? Like, it looks awesome." It was a, "Oh my God, you messed your hair up. Like, what did you do?" You know? And I just kind of just looked at him and did not even respond. Like, obviously, if you don't know what they said, you have not been around much. So you and your little cocoon can go sit over there, you know? I didn't even respond. I didn't say anything back. I didn't even say anything to anybody else about what was said to me. You guys are the first to even hear this story. But yeah, I just literally ignored it and decided not to take it personal, because that's that person's opinion of something they don't understand. And that's the direction they chose to go with it. Now, fast forwarding to the job that I'm in right now. So the job that I'm in now, I actually have been trying to get in for the past 5 years. I am so thankful to have this job, and I'm really ecstatic about it. I love it, but the dynamics are completely different. The office that I work in now is a lot smaller. I went from working with about 40 people to now about 20, so like half the size. And then in my particular section, there's only like 6. And I'm counted as that 6th person. So I'm working in a much smaller environment. As far as ethnicity, I am a minority now. There's only, in that office of 20, there's probably about, I can actually count us on like 2 hands. I think there's about 4, including myself. So I'll say about 5, because the 5th girl is like Islander, but she counts. So there's about 5 of us in this particular office. So it was a little different walking in. I didn't have that same feeling, so to speak, like, oh, you know, I'm with my sisters or whatever. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels this way when you go into an environment where you go from everyone looking like you to almost nobody looking like you. And within that environment, majority of those girls are not natural. They have perms and wear extensions. And there's one other person besides myself that is natural, but she usually does like braids and stuff like that. So there's no one in there with locks. I'm the only one. So if I ever have a question about something, I don't have that same community to go to ask things to, you know, when I'm having a bad hair day, like, you know, someone to kind of say, hey girl, you know, just, it look good, you know, it's all right, you just do this and do that tomorrow and it's whatever. You know, I don't really have that same support system, and I didn't necessarily need it, but in the very beginning, when you do decide to get locks, it does help when you work amongst people that understand kind of sort of your hair texture. So if one particular day you come in and your lock is literally like this and there's nothing you can do about it, they understand. But no one there has said anything to me about it or made any type of comments whatsoever. No one has said anything nasty, nowhere near what was said to me in the other environment, like nothing at all. They're more so just like about their work, so to speak, and you know, we socialize about family and stuff, but when it comes to hair, that never really comes up. We don't talk about it. So I don't have a negative experience with that, but I will say walking in, you feel different. So at first I was only going to share 2 experiences with you guys, but I just thought about a 3rd one, and I think I should share this one as well. This one had to do with the interview process. So the job that I have right now, I had to interview for it, but prior to me actually getting the job, I had interviewed for it 4 other times, and this would have been the 5th time that I interviewed for it. And I was really nervous, especially because this particular time, you know, I had just started my lock journey. So my locks, they didn't really look exactly like this, but they were kind of like this, but I had like a whole lot of new growth in the front. And, you know, I didn't want to go in there with my hair not retwisted. You know, I felt like, oh, I already got locks and now it's not like looking as kept as it could be. So I called my loctician to schedule an appointment. And it just so happened that that particular week, that entire week, she was going to be out of town and was not going to be able to retwist my hair for me. I also didn't trust anybody else to do the retwisting of my hair because I didn't want anyone to retwist it in like a different direction or any of that stuff. So I was just like, all right, plan B, I'm gonna get a wig. So I thought about going to the hair store and going to get a wig to put on top of my locks. And to be honest, I just felt so like indifferent about it. I never really felt this way until I started locks. Like in the past, I used to put wigs on my hair and extensions in my hair, and it never really meant anything to me. But this particular time, I felt like if I put a wig on my head, then that means I'm ashamed of my hair. And that's how I felt at that particular moment. And I was just like, wow, I'm not ashamed of my hair. You know, I don't think a wig will make a difference if I get the job or not. You know, like they should be hiring me based on the person that I am and what I can offer to their particular department. And so I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna put a wig over my hair. I will put a headband over my hair. And I went into the interview looking exactly like I look today. This is the exact same top I wore. I did have on a like a jacket, like a coat jacket or whatever, like a matching suit, a suit jacket. I had on a suit jacket and black slacks. And I wore this headband like this. And I put on a little bit of earrings, and I decided to do my face up a little bit. I'm not really the best at makeup, but I did practice on my eyebrows. So I was like, okay, let me try to spruce my face up a little bit. So I did my eyebrows, I put a little mascara on, eyeliner, and a little powder on my face. I went on about my business, and I kind of talked myself up. I boosted my confidence up within myself. And I went into the interview, and when I left, I felt good. I felt like I owned myself for the first time. Like, I own me, I own this, you know. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care if they liked it or they didn't like it. Like, I liked it, that's all that mattered. And I just, ever since then, I've had like an overwhelmingly sense of confidence about myself, my hair, inward and outward. Like, I don't really have as many negative thoughts about myself internally as far as what other people think or anything like that. Like, the little bit that I did have has completely diminished. But yeah, that was just something that I wanted to share with you guys about that particular process. So when I did finally get the job and I got that offer, I was so excited because I was like, wow, you know, I got the job and they saw me as me. Like, this is what I'm gonna actually look like. Like, you know, when I get there, and you're supposed to go into the interview with your best appearance, and they accepted me the way that I am. And I was just like, wow, that really made me feel good. And so when I did start working in the office and everything like that, I already went in with like a lot of confidence. So I didn't really have like a low self-esteem of what they're gonna say and who's gonna ask me questions and all that stuff like that. Like, I really didn't have that this particular time around. And you know, if you guys are out there and you're getting ready to go for an interview and you just started your lock process, you know, all I would say is to probably do your research and make sure that that particular hairstyle is not something that's not allowed at that company. And I know with it being this day and age that sounds a little odd. Like, why would locks not be allowed? Like, you know, this is their company, it's their money, they're gonna pick who they want, and you're gonna look the way they want you to look, you know. Otherwise, find a different job, or, you know, maybe start your own company or something like that, where it doesn't matter what the person's hair looks like or whatever. But when you're in a business professional environment, there will be those limitations at times. I did check it out though to make sure that that wasn't going to be considered a limitation for me, because that was something that I did question going in. I was just like, I don't know. I was like, can I work in there with my hair like this? I mean, I pretty much keep it kept in my personal opinion, but you know, there's no one else in that office that has locks. So is that because they can't have them, or because no one in there has decided to get them? Like, so I mean, it turned out there was nothing against it, you know, just no one in there has them. But it's fine, because I do now, and the next person that comes in that has them, they will feel right at home. But yeah, so that's just something that I wanted to share with you guys. I can't wait to hear your responses or read your responses down below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.